Good morning. This is Mission Alive. I'm Greg McCann. Today we're doing a series of articles on MSC involvement in China. It's a great story. Actually, it's quite an exciting story, and it's a story that I really look forward to sharing with you. So please sit back and relax and come on the journey with me, because it's definitely a wonderful experience. Missionaries of the Sacred Heart were invited by Rome and by the French Catholic Bishops' Conference to go to China in 1925. They went there under the umbrella of what they called the Issenden Fathers at the time, and it was the North German province of the MSCs that took up the call. As you can see, they went there in 1926 until 1952, and then other MSCs went there from 1998 to 2013. And this is their story. The first place that they went to was a place called Shetian. And Shetian is in Guizhou province. And Guizhou province is basically in the middle of the southwestern part of China. You can see on the map of China, they reckon that the map of China looks a little bit like a rooster. But anyway, that's another story. So Guizhou province is there, you can see it. And then they've expanded it and put down different parts of the province. You can see over here where the blue star is, that's Shetian. Places that are important to this story are Tongren, Zunyi, and of course Guiyang. Guiyang is the capital of the province. So when you look at the photos, you can see that Guizhou province is probably one of the most mountainous areas of China. It's got the wild Wuling Mountains running right across the middle of the province. And these mountains are up to a height of 2,570 metres. So you can see the photos that I took. You can see Shetian is a pretty small place, really. It always has been a pretty small place. But can you see it's surrounded by the mountains? And these are some of the mountains nearby. These are some of the mountains that the missionaries had to try and cover. Not simple. It was a very, very difficult terrain, no doubt about that. So, at the beginning of 1926, Fathers Wesselmann, Baumeiser and Johetbauer were given their mission crosses in the MSC chapel in Salzburg, Germany, and they went to China. When the missionaries arrived, these mountains were full of bandits and tigers and leopards. You can see from some of the photos that I found of the time, the bandits were a really very, very big problem. There was basically no real law and order. It was a country of what they call the five kingdoms. Nobody was really in charge of the whole of the country as such as we know it now. It had 5 distinct areas, all run by mandarins and little mini emperors. So these bandits would just roam around crazily and cause absolute havoc. And that's what it was like when these 3 missionaries were sent. So when they arrived in Shanghai in the middle of 1926, they had to wait several months because the city was in complete turmoil. You're looking at the photograph here of the Bund in the early 20s when they arrived. They had the Bund was made up of different sections, the French concession and the German concession, all different parts. And the Bund is still there today, a very interesting place to visit. Anyway, after a few months of waiting in Shanghai, they managed to get an old junk. That's an old junk there, a photograph of one, the sort of thing that they probably would have had. And then it took them several months actually to travel up the Yangtze River from Shanghai. They went up 1,300 kilometers up the Yangtze River. And at a place called Baojing, they got a very small boat to take them up the tributary right onto the edge of Guizhou province. And from there, they had to walk 80 kilometers over 3 mountain ranges to Shenzhen. Can you imagine what that would have been like? They've spent months at sea going from Germany to Shanghai, months in Shanghai worried whether they were going to survive or not because of the anarchy and the problems that were going on there. Finally got a barge to take them up the Yangtze River. Then had to change the junk to a smaller boat to take them up the tributary. They finally got up the tributary, then they had to walk 80 kilometres to Shenzhen, to their final destination. I don't know how they did it. It's an extraordinary feat. I certainly couldn't do it, that's for sure. So, anyway, they arrived. They arrived at Shenzhen. When they arrived, the Paris Missionary Society priests, who were already there, were waiting for them. And as soon as they arrived, they left and went back to their capital, Guiyang. They had finally got there. They'd been there 5 months. And then Father Jahet Bahawa drowned while trying to cross a river. The 2 remaining priests battled on for another year. And in 1926 and 27, 6 more priests were sent from Germany.